of sine. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. Let's review. So if I looked in here, the derivative of sine is cosine. So when you take the derivative, it's going to be f prime. Okay. The 3 will stay, but the sine will turn into cosine. Minus the derivative, I'm going to minus the 2. I will keep that. The one that I need to take the derivative is cosine. So the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So that means I will write in here negative sine. And then the derivative of just a constant will just disappear because that's a horizontal line. So that just disappears. So I don't have to worry about that. Okay. So now I'm just have to rewrite this because I have a negative. So 3 cosine negative times negative turn into positive. And that is the derivative of the first function. I think about more than half of you did it well. So that's good. I did not have a chance to give you feedback if you make a mistake. I was taking attendance and trying to share the link, so I have not had a chance to give you that feedback. So what you want to do is go ahead and fix it on Padapt, because when I end the session, it will email you your notes. So that's what is saved for you. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the second problem at prime. Okay, I just want to review this one, negative 5x. If I'm taking the derivative of that, that would turn into just negative 5. Okay, so this is something that you forgot. You want to see me for help. Yes, I'm going to share the link for those who just joined. Okay, there's a link in the chat. Derivative of cosine, okay, that would turn into negative sine. So that is number 2. Okay. So if you make that mistake, if you're not sure what you have to do, go ahead and fix that on your Padapt, because when I end the session, like I said, it will email you the notes. But if you're doing a piece of paper, that is fine too. Have it ready for this Wednesday. So for those who just joined, you will have a summative next class, which is Wednesday. We have office hour tomorrow. I know office hour you can join me at 11:55 or at 12:45. But if you don't remember the time tomorrow, just 12:45 every day if you need to see me. Okay. All right. Any question for me on trig functions on those 2 problems? All right, so this is one of the problems that last class I have about 2 or 3 people was I missed one. Can we review a tangent line? Because I'm not sure what to do, okay? And I think I did a little bit, but I figure it's okay to go back and review this. So when I'm asking you to write the tangent line, whoops, this one I cannot write, so I have to move to the next problem. Okay. All right, so to write a tangent line, and a lot of you, the mistake that you make was you remember that you have to plug it in, but you forgot that you have to take the derivative first. So we're going to use this function, y minus y1, m x minus x1. That is the equation that we're going to use to write tangent line, okay? Brian, I'm sharing with you the link in the chat. Okay, so when you take the derivative, so step number 1, you have to take the derivative. So y prime equal to 4x minus 2. So at this point, when I'm taking the derivative, these are simple function. I'm just going to take the derivative. I'm not going to show you step by step. But if you struggle with this, see me for help today, 12:45, or tomorrow at 12:45. Okay. Step 2, I'm going to plug it in to figure out the slope. Okay, so y prime at 1x is 1. So the values that I want to use to plug it in is the x values. So 4 times 1 minus 2, that is give me 1. That is the slope. So that's step 2, I'm finding the slope. And then step 4, I just plug it in, right? So look in here, these are the points that I want to plug in. Y1, x1, and the slope. So y minus y1, which is 1. The slope is 1, x minus 1. So you can stop right there. I'm sorry, it's 3. I said it is 2, yes. Yes, it is 2, Mahmoud, thank you. So you can stop at this point. You can stop at this equation, right? If it's a free response. But if it's a multiple choice and they want you to write at slope intercept, then we can finalize this problem by distribution. I'm going to write up here, y minus 1 equal to 2x minus 2 plus 1 plus 1. So now my equation is going to be y equal to 2x minus 1. Okay, so we can stop right here. If it's a free response, you don't have to simplify. Just stop right there. Do not simplify because you don't want to make any mistake. Because when I look at your final answer, if there's a mistake, I would take a point. So don't simplify. But if it's a multiple choice, you want to simplify so that you know which one is the right function. Okay. Or Khan Academy, the one that you have to do. Some of the equation that you have to simplify all the way. Some you don't have to. So you can stop right there. And so this is one of the questions that you guys asked me to review. This will be the first objective for your summative. Okay. So you should be able to take the derivative and then find the slope and then write the equation. So this is objective 1 on your test this Wednesday. So any question for me on this one, to how to write an equation, how to write a tangent line? All right, Joseph, there's a link for you in the chat. Go ahead and join. Okay, then the next one is the same thing. Is there something that we feel like we should do another one? Let me know, or we should move forward because you got this. Should I do this problem? Another, like, you good? Okay. If any of you would like me to go over, let me know. Okay. All right, some say yes, some said no. Might as well just do it. It's not gonna be too long, okay? Well, there's a link for you in the chat, so go ahead and join. Okay, so step number 1. Step number 1. Step number 1 is, Step number 1, I'm gonna have to take the derivative. So y prime 2x plus 2, because the 1 will disappear. Step 2, I'm going to find the slope. I plug it in. So y prime of negative 3. So 3 times negative 3, sorry, not 3, 2 plus 2. So this will give me negative 6 plus 2. This is going to give you negative 4. So this is the slope, negative 4. Okay. To write the equation, I just have to plug it in my equation. So y minus 4, the slope that I just figured out, which is negative 4, x minus x1 minus a negative turn into positive, okay? So y minus 4 equal negative 4x plus 3. You can stop right there. That's the free response question. You don't have to worry about simplify. But if it's a multiple choice, like I said, we just have to do couple more steps. Y minus 4, negative 4, minus 12, plus 4 on both sides. Cancel that out, negative 4x. This gives you negative 8. So that's the slope-intercept. If that's the multiple choice and they already simplify all the way, then you just have to do that to figure out which one is match up. Okay? Otherwise, stop with the very first line. Okay. All right, let's look at this one. We have another rule to learn to take the derivative. So you may not recognize this. If you have Miss Conan, you may or may not remember, she may or may not cover this. Normally, she should be able to cover this if we have a whole year pre-cal, but last year with pandemics, I'm not sure where you guys left off, but it doesn't matter. If you run into this function, e to the x, the derivative is going to be, you're going to like this one, it's going to be exactly the same. So this is the rule that you want to jot it down on a piece of paper somewhere in front of you. So when you take the test this Wednesday, it's there and you don't have to search for it. And I'm not going to tell you what that is, okay? So derivative of e to the x is e to the x. So if I'm going to take the derivative of this function right here, y prime, the phi will stay. The e to the x is just going to be e to the x. So the derivative is actually the same thing. So e to the x, if you take the derivative of e to the x, it's just the same function, nothing changed. So you want to have that memorized. Question for me so far with that? The derivative of natural log will be 1 over x. So these two is not too bad. It's just that you just have to have it memorized. So y prime, okay. The phi, we just rewrite that. So that's the 5. I'm going to multiply with the derivative of natural log, which is 1 over x. So I'm just going to simplify. I'm going to multiply across. So that's my answer going to be 5 over x. So the number in front, the coefficient, you're not doing anything with that. You just focus on the function that's given to you, the natural log, or e to the x. Question for me so far. This is the rule that you have to have it memorized. Okay. I will not tell you what that is on the summative. So if you have to write that on a piece of paper, do so. Have it in front of you if you have to. Okay. All right, let's put everything together. So let's review a little bit. The derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. The derivative of natural log is 1 over x. Okay. So when I'm taking the derivative of this, y prime, okay. So in here, I looked in here, I'm going to remember what is the derivative of sine. So I mixed the one we just covers the trig function and the one that we just talked about. It's okay, it doesn't matter what I put. You're going to follow the rule that I gave you, okay? So the negative 5, I would just keep it the same, negative 5. But I'm going to take the derivative of sine. What is the derivative of sine, if you remember? This is something that you should know right away. So that's going to be a little bit faster for you. So what is the derivative of sine? Anyone remember? Cosine? So the derivative of sine is cosine. All right, let's put that in. Then I'm going to minus here is this one. The derivative of e to the x, we just learned it's just the same thing. So basically, I don't have to worry about changing it, so that it's just e to the x. So this would be my answer. So unfortunately, when we run into special functions, there's going to be a different rule for each of them. It's not like the one with the power, we can just do the same thing for all of the power. You take the power, put in the front, and then minus 1. But now when you run to a special function like trig function, natural log functions, they have they have their own rules. So you just have to have it memorized, okay? All right, let's try this one. Let's do one more together. F prime. Okay. Keep in mind, e to the x is just going to be e to the x, and nothing changed, so that could be 2e to the x. Now the last part, this is the one is the power rule. And we know what to do with that. So minus, whoops. So it's going to be negative 3 times negative 4. I'm going to write down I need more space, so I'm just going to erase this. I'm going to rewrite this so I have more space. Okay, f prime of x to e to the x. But that's stay, okay? So minus, in here, I bring down the negative 3 times 4. Negative 3 minus 1. So now I'm going to finalize my problem. 2e to the x, negative turn into positive 12. X negative 4. Again, we don't want the negative, so I'm going to bring up here. My final answer is going to be 2e to the x plus 12 over x to the 4th power. Okay, so this part is we cover the last couple weeks, and then you already have a final, not final exam, I'm sorry. You already have a summative on it, so if this is something that's a problem for you, office hour today and tomorrow. Okay, I expect you to know that. Question for me so far on natural log and e to the x. I'll give you a few seconds to copy this down, and then we'll move forward. All right, I'm gonna do this one. What I would do is, hold on, let me see. I have one more. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to ask you to do, instead of me doing this, I want you to go ahead and go to Pedict, give it a try, use 7 and 8, and see how you do with that. This, I would call this is a check-in point, access slipped, or whichever you call. And I'll give you a point for this. So go ahead and try 7 and 8. You can go in Pedict and start. I'm going to rewrite the rule for you just in case you forgot. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x. The derivative of natural log is 1 over x. Okay. Go ahead and give it